Hello and welcome to the morning news here on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Coming up in the next few minutes. President Mahama reaffirms his commitment to safeguarding independence of the judiciary as Paul Bafuboni takes office as Chief Justice. Also coming up, Parliament resumes debate on the 2026 budget later today. Much later on the program, recruitment into the Ghana Armed Forces in the Greater Accra region resumes on Thursday with new reforms. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Thank you so much for joining us on the morning news here on TV3. Now, President John Mahama says his government remains committed to safeguarding the independence of the judiciary. At the swearing-in of Justice Paul Bafuboni as Chief Justice, President Mahama said that the various arms of government must operate independently and also collaborate for the common good. Meanwhile, the Chief Justice, Paul Bafuboni, says the judiciary must protect the vulnerable and resist undue influence.
I, Paul Bafuboni,
do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
Do in the name of the Almighty God swear.
After 8 months of acting as the Chief Justice, Paul Bafuboni JSC receives the warrant of office as Chief Justice. Swearing by the cross to 3 oaths, he affirmed his dedication to service as Chief Justice, the beginning of a continued justice delivery process that assures of dedication and fairness, respect for all, and timely delivery. Swearing in the 16th Chief Justice of the Republic of Ghana since independence, the President stressed the importance of maintaining a delicate balance of power among the executive, legislature, and the judiciary.
Even as we emphasize independence, we must also recognize the need for cooperation among the 3 arms of government. The judiciary needs an enabling legal framework, adequate budgetary allocation, and supportive policies. The executive and the legislature, on their part, require timely and impartial judicial interpretations of the law and the Constitution. In my administration's reset agenda and broader reforms, we see the judiciary as a critical partner in building a just, prosperous, and stable Ghana. We will engage with your office in a spirit of consultation and respect, while scrupulously preserving your independence in the performance of your judicial functions.
Collaboration remains key for a reset agenda, with a further call for expansion and modernization of court infrastructure.
The expectations of our people in you are high, and so too are their hopes. And so I charge you to lead with courage, even when decisions are difficult or unpopular.
Justice Paul Bafuboni remarked the reinforcement for a judiciary that upholds the rule of law, respects court decisions, ensuring transparency and accessibility.
Our judiciary must be independent, impartial, and accessible. It must not serve the powerful or the connected at the expense of the weak and the vulnerable. It must resist any incursions on its freedoms, but also embrace accountability, transparency, and continuous reform.
A leadership that Paul Bafuboni assumes with utmost expectations. Komla Kluche, TV3 News, Jubilee House, Accra.
The Ghana Armed Forces has announced new measures following last week's deadly stampede during the 2025-2026 recruitment exercise in the Greater Accra region. The incident, which left 6 people dead and several others injured, has triggered a full-scale investigation and major reforms in the recruitment process. Elsie Adu has more in the following report.
What began as a routine recruitment exercise quickly escalated into chaos. Thousands of applicants massed at the Elwak Sports Stadium. Poor crowd control and clear communication and growing anxiety triggered a sudden rush, leaving 6 applicants dead after a stampede, while others sustained injuries. In the immediate aftermath, the Ghana Armed Forces suspended the entire Greater Accra recruitment exercise and set up a board of inquiry to establish what went wrong and who may be held responsible. Deputy Minister for Defence, Ernest Brigadier-Mfi, visited some of the injured and the families of the deceased. He outlined government support plans for both survivors and the bereaved.
His Excellency the President has directed that we give the opportunity to the family to replace all these 6 dead persons. Not only that, His Excellency the President has also directed that all injured persons involved in this tragic incident be also given the automatic qualification to be recruited for the Ghana Armed Forces.
Days after the tragedy, the Ghana Armed Forces announced that the recruitment exercise in the Greater Accra region will resume on Thursday, 20th November 2025, but under much stricter protocols. A statement signed by Acting Director General of Public Relations, Captain Veronica Adjo-Ahen, confirmed that the screening will now be decentralized across 8 sub-centers. These include Elwak Stadium, Nicholson Park at Bema Camp, Air Force Base at Bema Camp, 2 centers at Tradok in Teshi, and the Eastern Naval Command in Tema. Under the revised arrangement, applicants will report strictly in batches of 600, and only those who receive official SMS notifications will be admitted into any center. Vice Chairperson of the Defense and Interior Committee, Peter Tobu, believes the problem goes beyond crowd behavior, pointing instead to inadequate planning and coordination.
We are talking about a national picture, and the national picture will reflect on agencies. It is a national issue. Do we plan well? Planning is something that, as a country, we have a challenge. That when we have a 40-year development plan, somebody comes and says, I will not use that. I develop my own thing. We have Vision 2020. Where did it end? It ended nowhere. So as a country, we should come back, all of us, not just the armed forces. All of us should come back together and say, let the plans be strict and let the plans work. Let's follow the plan, irrespective of which party is in power. If the plan is this, that will carry us to this level, you need to carry the people to where they ought to be, not necessarily where they want to be.
The Board of Inquiry continues its investigations, and the Armed Forces has assured the public that anyone found culpable will be sanctioned.
Now, Parliament will engage in fierce debate on the 2026 budget from today, Tuesday, the 18th of November, with members expected to approve various estimates for the ensuing year. The first day of debate will feature key sectors like finance, economy, budget and public interest, and agreed time allotment for the commentaries.
The debate on the 2026 budget statement precedes the approval of the appropriation and various estimates for ministries, departments and agencies. It comes after the Finance Minister on Thursday, November 13th, presented the 2026 budget in which he announced the cancellation of the COVID-19 levy.
With the support of this House, Mr. Speaker, I'm proud to say that I'm happy to announce that today, COVID-19 levy is accordingly abolished. Mr. Speaker, by abolishing the COVID-19 levy, government is putting 3.7 billion Ghana cedis in the pockets of individuals and businesses in 2026.
To ensure insightful debating process, Parliament has held 3 days post-budget workshop to equip MPs with relevant details and technical knowledge of the budget.
The economic difficulties our people face today, whether in the rising of costs of living, high unemployment, or limited access to credit, demand that we, as representatives of the people, engage the budget with clarity, compassion, and responsibility.
We, as parliamentarians, must therefore scrutinize the budget thoroughly, ensuring that allocations are equitable, realistic, and results-oriented.
From agriculture to finance, sports and transport, members of Parliament will debate sectoral issues as scheduled for assigned days. The minority has already expressed fear of a difficult 2026.
With the significant billions of dollars of interventions, we expected the rate to be around 8 cedis to $1. But the market's muted response reveals a sophisticated understanding that currency strength cannot be purchased. It must be earned through sound economic fundamentals. We can therefore, in conclusion, describe the 2026 budget, the Galamsey budget, as growthless, jobless, and minimalist budget. It contains only cosmetic rhetorics presented by a crawling government.
The conversations are rife, with industry players and consumers already sharing split opinions. The minority and majority leaders will conclude the debate on Wednesday, November 26th, after which the House will approve the appropriation. Christian Yale, TV3 News.
Let's stay a bit longer on the 2026 budget because the Ghana Union of Traders Associations, GUTA, fears the government's new value-added tax restructuring will create severe discrepancies in the retail market and undermine compliance efforts. The association, whilst lauding the government for the currency stability and business growth, says the tax divisions will erode their gains.
Finance Minister Dr. Kasia Latafo-Singh, during the presentation of the 2026 budget, announced series of tax reforms, including a reduction of the effective VAT rate from 21.9% to 20% and an increase in the VAT registration threshold from 200,000 cedis to 750,000 cedis. Government says the move is to ease the tax burden on small and medium-scale businesses. But the president of the Ghana Union of Traders Association, GUTA, Joseph Obing, believes the new VAT structure will rather squeeze traders. According to him, the shift from the 4% flat rate to the standard 20% VAT will significantly push up operating costs for many in the trading community.
When the threshold was 200,000, it was still creating disparities because customers come and they go to wherever they want to buy, and even that we are complaining, especially when we are in the same vicinity of trading. And then also the affordability of the tax is also compromised because most of us were paying the 4% flat rate, and now we are being made to pay 20%. It's a huge gap.
He is urging government to apply the modified tax system universally across the informal sector instead of what he describes as a split market that disadvantages certain groups.
So this is what is going to happen. It's going to make compliance rather very difficult because we are operating in the same vicinity of trading. We are trading in the same commodity lines, and then by virtue of the threshold we have been segregated. How do you even determine the threshold? And it's going to also push so many people to reduce the scope of their businesses in order to survive.
And on government's plan to curb under-invoicing through digitization and artificial intelligence, GUTA president argues that the more effective step will be to reduce duty charges to encourage transparency among importers.
The economy has been so stabilized. The finance minister have promised that they are going to sustain the gains. When the president said that we are going to rationalize the tax system, we are very happy because then we have to talk about rationalizing the tax, and then we can use the AI to make sure that if the taxes have been made simpler and cheaper, then you do not have to dodge it.
GUTA is expected to meet officials at the Finance Ministry in the coming days to demand adjustments before the new measures take effect.
Now, the Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Emmanuel Amakofiboa, says that plans are underway to establish a system aimed at eradicating land corruption and eliminating middlemen. This is to ensure investment in land in Ghana is secured.
One of the critical hurdles to our economic transformation has been land. How we manage land in Ghana has been hell. Double sale, triple sale. Investor will come to Ghana, he will invest in land, the next day he is in court. The land belongs to somebody. In this budget, President Mahama is making it very clear that we are going to move a step ahead and invest in modern technology to manage land system, remap our whole country to ensure that we can talk about a future where in Ghana, when you say that you are selling a land, all I have to do is go to my phone and check and see who's the lease owner, where it's located, when he acquired it. You don't need middlemen overnight. All those corruption matters, we are tackling it into this budget.
Let's bring you some more here on the morning news. And the Food and Beverages Association of Ghana has issued a severe warning, stating that smuggling activities have reached alarming levels and are actively destroying legitimate businesses and draining state revenue. The association insists that illegal traders have virtually taken control of Ghana's crucial rice and sugar market, pushing honest importers and local distributors to the brink of collapse.
Smugglers have in recent times intensified their activities, most especially rice and sugar smugglers. Indeed, the Ghanaian market currently is overtaken by the activities of these illicit traders. Legal traders, businesses are unable to sell their products, and this is hampering a lot of activities in the marketplace. Smuggling products that are clearly very visible in the Ghanaian market can be seen. We've written a letter to the Commissioner General of the Ghana Revenue Authority, a copy to the Ministry of Finance and Ministry of Trade to take immediate action in this. We have been talking about this matter over some time now, but these smugglers are intensified their activities. They have intensified their activities, and it is very critical that we take immediate steps to halt them.
Now, you may have seen a disturbing video circulating on social media showing a man violently beating a woman believed to be his wife. The Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection has condemned the act, describing it as, quote, barbaric, unquote, and a gross violation of the woman's right. The ministry says that it has contacted the Ghana Police Service and investigations are currently underway. The ministry is also appealing to the public to provide any information that may assist in the investigation. It further emphasized that domestic and sexual-based violence remains a serious national concern and urged the public to report such incidents to ensure that perpetrators are held accountable. Now, Fraudulent visa applications are on the rise in Ghana, prompting warnings from 3 major foreign missions. The UK, Canadian and Australian High Commissions say thousands of applicants risk long-term travel bans if they fail to fall prey to scams.
Reports indicate that about 1,632 Ghanaian applicants used fraudulent means to apply for UK visas in 2024. According to the UK High Commissioner, many were misled by agents, but the consequence is often a 10-year travel ban, even for applicants who may not have been aware. To protect genuine applicants, the missions are warning Ghanaians to be cautious of anyone promising shortcuts or guaranteed results. The High Commissions are intensifying public education on the dangers of visa scams, promoting safe application practices, and encouraging the use of official government channels. Fraud and security consultant Richard Kumado says the warnings are meant to alert both applicants and agents who attempt to exploit people with false documentation.
People are afraid to apply for visa directly, and so you have agents who collect huge sums of money from them, and they put in their documents, and sometimes they don't even know the documents they are putting in. Then you also have a group of people who have big connections within government, not NDC government or NPP government, but all our governments, and they travel with government agencies, and they change applications and change titles for certain people. So these embassies are raising the alarm now, and they are flashing out the red flag, and to set as a warning to people who will want to take advantage of next year's World Cup and dupe people or apply for wrong documentations, and they wouldn't get a visa.
He has called on the police CID to issue a statement to further protect the public from falling victim to visa scams.
Ghana Police, the CID block, and the IGP and the Foreign Ministry must also issue some level of documents or some statements to that regard, because the ramifications are huge and people might not even be aware.
The campaign by the UK, Australian and Canadian High Commissions aims to protect applicants and strengthen the integrity of immigration systems.
And that's all for the morning news here on TV3. My name is Beatrice Sedu. Stay with us. New Day continues. It's a vibe.
I know my enemies are laughing right now, but no problem. Sadra Kabe is the lead producer.
Enemy in chief.
And then assisted by Anita. Am I so? Oh, sorry. Charlie, welcome. Enemies are not God.
How are you?
Saladeo, what happened?
You look nice.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
nice.
In my purple.
Yeah, you look like you're supporting Infantiman girls.
Infantiman girls.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah,
this is their jersey, yeah?
They have patented and adopted and collected
really nice.
the color purple.
Wow.
And so we leave it for them. But you look very nice.
Thank you.
You know I like it when you dress like this, right?
Thank you.
And is that duku in your pocket?
It
looks like Udasubo.
Yeah, something like that.
And then you...
It's something just to, as part of the
Charlie,
blocking, you know, we have to block it. Block it.
You dress.
And there's a gruesome video of
oh boy.
A very uncouth, uncultured man who was beating the wife, we're told, and was filmed by a tenant. And I think that whoever that tenant is did really well. And just beating, molesting the wife. And not only shame to him, but all those who tend to molest women in their domestic household or wherever they find them. I mean, this is just gruesome.
Yeah. You know, somebody tagged me in this video yesterday afternoon.
Wicked.
And the person who posted the video captioned it, "My landlord is always beating his wife. Somebody help."
Wow.
Now, we've blurred out most parts of the video because this woman is stark naked. When I say stark naked, I mean she's not even wearing any underwear. So this is how the video began. She's sitting on the floor. She was obviously begging him to stop. She's naked. He enters the house and comes out with 2 sticks. Then he begins to beat her up with both of them while she sits down there and begs. Then he goes and comes again, and all the time she's begging. And, you know, would you even beat up your dog like this?
No.
Like, would you even beat up an animal like this? I don't even understand how this is happening and this is possible. And obviously, this tenant is also afraid to come out because she was hiding.
Yes.
When she took the video. Even there are times when she takes the camera away from the scene, shows the inside of the house and comes back out again. And it's so troubling. Since I saw it yesterday, it's totally... I don't know how to describe how I felt when I saw it.
Yeah.
As if you've seen it without the blur that we've put on, you'd understand. It's horrible. I saw that the Ghana Police Service has issued a statement
of having arrested him subsequently.
Yes.
But, I mean, the act in itself is just not only horrible, but just speaks volumes about the domestic abuse meted out to women.
I think the gender ministry got it right when it said it's barbaric. I mean, it's just unthinkable, unreasonable. I really am struggling to find the right words to describe what we're seeing on our screens right now. It's nothing should call for that.
You know, I think this should open the conversation again about domestic violence against everyone, against women, children, and men, because there is violence against men in the domestic setting as well. We often talk about violence against women because that is what is reported, and that is what we see. There is also violence against men, but oftentimes they go unreported because of the embarrassment that it's generally accompanied with, because we don't expect a woman to be able to beat a man, so to speak. But I know of a story of a woman who beats her husband religiously with a hot frying pan. And she heats the frying pan, and when he walks into the door, she slaps him across the face. She's been doing this consistently, like for a long time, until he finally gathered the courage to get help. So it happens to men too. But look at that. Look at that. No, I think we should talk about it this morning.
Yeah.
I mean, I mean, this is unpardonable to start with, but whatever could make a human being want to do this to another human being.
This is mental derangement, really.
Yeah. Adult or child, you can't, I don't even want to say child, you can't even beat a human. You cannot beat a human being on this.
You know, it
like
feels,
this.
You can tell that the man feels he has superpower over the woman. Like, I can subject you to anything that I feel I should because of whatever he finds as reason to do that. And like I said, I've been struggling to find the right words, really, to a woman you're supposed to be protecting, really. You allow her to be naked on a compound. It's not even an enclosed place. That shouldn't mean that even if it was enclosed, nobody was watching, he's allowed to do that. But that's a public place, naked, a woman you're supposed to be protecting, and you do that. And I pray that, you know, as the police and and gender ministry, DOFSU, I hope so, all of these agencies come in, the families would not come in and say, oh, this is, you know, marital issue, let's deal with it, closed doors. Let the man face the law.
It's a criminal offense.
Yes.
It's a criminal offense. And you can imagine what he does behind closed doors.
Yes.
You know, I would hate for us to import facts, but if he's doing this on a compound, you can imagine what he does behind closed doors. You will not even beat up a plant like this.
Yeah.
and she's obviously unable to run away. She's unable to get up. He has told her to stay there. And it's obviously this is not the first time. This is not the second or third time.
I don't even know whether it's rod he's using. It doesn't look like it.
This guy's an animal, man.
That's
despicable.
Naked. That's unpardonable.
Yes. And
see, she's
Charlie,
come on.
And he kicks her.
Charlie, some men are just stupid. I mean, forgive my... So after that, you go back to the woman and sleep with her?
Yes.
This is pure abuse.
You know, let's listen to the actual sound that the video is accompanied with.
Bro, I don't like what this. Recording. For real. Charlie, this man has to be arrested for real.
Women need to be empowered. They need to know that they have the rights. They need to know, you know, that's not, I'm not talking about the extreme bit where, you know, I'm just struggling to find the right words, but women need to be empowered. They need to know their rights. They need to know which limits cover relationships.
The fact is that no human being should ever have to go through this. No human being should ever be treated this way.
Yeah.
And I agree with you on women empowerment. Women need to understand that you must not continue to stay with a man who abuses you. I know there are economic angles to this.
Yeah.
I know there are angles to this which suggest that women believe that if they do not, or if they leave relationships or marriages like this, then they have no options, or they're staying for the children, or they're staying because of societal expectations, or you're a deaconess in your church or whatever. You will die. And then what happens to the children? What happens to the societal expectations and so on? A person who treats you this way will have no problem continuing until your last breath. It always starts with very little signs, and you think it's nothing, you know, a slap. And then they apologize. And then it's a kick. And then they apologize. And the next thing you know, you have been conditioned to think that this is okay. And it continues to this level where you are naked on a compound. And I'm so sorry that this woman has to go through this. Like, I'm so sorry if you are in a situation like this and you feel like there is no way out. There is a way out. I am so sorry if you're sitting in a relationship or a marriage or whatever you're in, where your partner abuses you like this and you think that you have no choice. You actually do have a choice. and it's better to get out and be hungry or whatever than to stay there and be treated this way, and you could die. We've seen too many stories, domestic violence related stories where the victims die.
Yeah.
Where this very recent case of this man who set his entire family on fire.
Yeah.
You know, it starts small and slow, and you think that an apology is okay. A man has beaten his wife, then community members will follow him to go and beg her.
Yeah.
You know, and encourage her to take him back. And the next thing you know, before you know it, it's escalated, and this is what happens.
And you know, it's also because of the premium the society has placed on relationships.
Yes.
Such that when a woman is seen without any stable relationship, the woman, sometimes people are ostracized, all sort of things are said about them. But you're better off being whole, happy and fulfilled. Alive than being in a relationship because society expects you to be in and being subjected to such treatment.
And then
if you
sometimes I
want to
think
be
it's
in a
funny.
relationship, it has to be complimenting you. It has to be making your life better.
Or at
And
the very
not-
least, the same. Let us both just be the... But you don't... You know, this is just a side note. Very recently, this weekend, I happened to be with a group of men, okay? And then one of them said, oh, you women, you worry us too much. That's why we beat you. He said it very jokingly. You know, speaking guy. I was like, no one called me for was your name. And I held myself. I knew that I had to hold myself because it was not the place or the time. But if you're listening to us this morning, I mean, you're a man, you're listening, you have no rights to beat a woman. It is a criminal offense. You're a criminal if you're doing it, and you must stop it. You have no right to beat a woman for no reason. If you don't want her, let her go. Charlie, I'm just I can't even...
Yeah.
In fact, men and women are alike. No human being has the right.
You know, the interesting bit is...
Because women also beat their husbands, and we know it.
Yeah.
Women also beat their husbands with frying pans at home. And we know it. The men are not saying it.
You know, I've heard reports from some police officers saying that there have been some of their colleagues that when men go to report, especially at Dosu, that my wife beats me, they laugh at them. Yeah. And so why would they even go? Like, Obama power to home,
especially if you're a man of a certain size.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's unfortunate. Right? It's not funny. It's not funny. Yeah. It's not funny at all, Roland. We are also very disturbed by it.
I know that when you take the Domestic Violence Act, you find that there are provisions in there that makes it possible for such reports to be undertaken. But at the end of the day, it's about the conversation we're having, where we're situating the narrative about whether women who largely remain abused, and according to research, at least 1 in 3 women are abused in marriages or in domestic setting right here in Ghana, have the consciousness to know that this environment I'm in and receiving constant abuse, I need to go and report and take solace in the law so that the law will act for me. And I think that it is also very important that this video went viral and subsequently the police as well as the ministry have followed through and taken action. But beyond that are the number of women who are not discovered, don't get filmed by anybody else. The videos will not find place in social media, on the social media, for people to make commentary, whether well placed within the structures of the law, but just as a point of morality, and then whether it is of good conscience to be able to do that. And I think that for many of the times, the responsibility should also lie with the family heads, the community leaders, and then the church.
The church. Yeah.
And I'm saying this because we're largely a religious country. Over 70% so-called of Ghanaians are supposed to be Christians, and then we have the rest spread between Muslims and then the traditional faith. Of course, we have smaller ones as well. Where we have largely the church, the leaders of the church taking command of the public narrative, and we have men largely, based on the statistics and the records that we have in our society, who tend to perpetrate these actions against vulnerable women, irrespective of how they are, how they might have acted, and grossly abusing the human rights. I think this is unacceptable. And I'll place the responsibility on the church leaders who have failed, and then, of course, the other imams and sheikhs in the Muslim faith who don't seem to speak every Sunday or the times they have services and the many platforms that we give church leaders. Now they even have TV channels themselves. They have content creation channels. Yes,
go live on TikTok.
and just fail to conscientize men that it is not right, irrespective of how provocative an action has been undertaken by your spouse, your partner, in any courtship or relationship or marriage or any domestic setting, for you to lay a hand on her. I mean, and kudos to the few men who try to, when they are angry or perhaps annoyed at the situation, find better means to find solace, to cool down. But this action by this man is not only brutish, it's not only uncultured and civilized, but it's cruel.
Yeah.
And the laws would have to be evoked appropriately to make sure that he's punished within the remit of the law.
Yeah.
I mean, what he's done. And yesterday when I saw the video, by close of the evening, before I put it, I said, look, are you, after constantly, and according to the narration behind the video, constantly beating this woman, molesting her, going to ask her in the dead of the night, at dawn, or any time within the day that I want to sleep with you? How do you feel as a man to do that? Yeah. It's inhumane. It is despicable. And he has no place in civilization, that guy.
Yeah. And that's why I was saying that as the law begins to take its course, families and those who are related would not come in to say, oh, let it be behind doors. I mean, closed doors.
No.
Let's just deal with this privately.
I can't even watch it.
It has to be dealt with appropriately. And
you know, parents of women whose daughters come and report these incidents to them.
Yeah.
They should not send their daughters back to these men. Because Roland mentioned religious leaders, but family heads also.
Yeah.
Because, you know, women would often confide in their mothers or someone in the family.
Yeah.
And they would encourage them to go back.
Yeah.
Go and beg him. Just be submissive. Or just, you know, and then these women go back to these marriages when they think that they have nowhere else to go. We are in Ghana, or as Africans, we always have somewhere to go. We always have family. I mean, in Ghana, there's always somewhere to go.
Yeah, that's true.
And so, regardless of the economic dependence that you might have on this person who is beating you, because of which you think that, you know, you should stay, you should prioritize your life. You think that because of the children you're staying, you should prioritize your life. And theirs too. If he's beating you like this, what did he do to the children who have no voice to even speak out or nowhere else to go?
Even training is that giving the children indirectly?
Exposing them to,
because when they grow, they will think that it's okay to beat a woman.
Well, we have to open the phone lines, but what do we have for big issues? Then we'll transition to that.
Well, today on Big Issues, we're going to go back to the budget that the Honourable Finance Minister presented. I'm still I'm unable to step out of the of the video we just watched, and so you'd pardon us for that. Okay. But yeah, we're going to be talking about the focus on the health sector and what the provisions the government is making for the health sector in respect of infrastructure, the possible completion of some of the Agenda 111 projects, the NHIS, Mahama Cares, and so on. We're also going to be looking at that gun amnesty exercise and the call for all persons who have guns, which are unregistered, to register them or to surrender them as the country moves forward in a bid or attempt to make sure that guns and firearms are used
I think
properly.
As now we'll change the second topic. You discuss this one.
I feel strongly about that too. I feel strongly about that.
Forget about we'll discuss guns
come
tomorrow.
back to it, another day perhaps.
Yes, but Roland, you were talking earlier about the statement issued by the police. Perhaps I can just read a bit of that before we pick our first call. And it says, police arrest suspect in viral Facebook video on domestic violence. Just 5 points here. It says the Criminal Investigations Department of the Ghana Police Service has arrested a man captured in a viral Facebook video physically assaulting a woman believed to be his wife at their residence at Ofanko in the Ga East municipality. The statement goes on to say that the suspect, identified as John Odate Lamte, was arrested on Monday, that's yesterday, the 17th of November, at the family residence. Following his arrest, two of his siblings, Grace Kushi Lamte and Lois Odate Lamte, who attempted to attack a female tenant they suspected of recording and circulating the video, were also arrested, and the tenant was rescued to ensure her safety. Efforts are underway to locate and ensure the safety of the wife, who had fled the scene before the police arrived. The Ghana Police Service remains committed to protecting victims of domestic violence and ensuring that perpetrators face the full rigor of the law. I mean, it's sad. The police is actually indicating that the family of this man actually supported this and went ahead to attack the person who filmed it. That's like a very serious, deadly environment that woman found herself, because there was nobody really to rescue her.
So unfortunate. I mean, so unfortunate. Like, this woman, we're so sorry that you have to go through this in the hands of this family, all of them. Anyway, let's go to the phone line.
Yes, I think we have our first caller on the line. Good morning to you, sir. Well, before that, you're welcome to the This Morning segment. Our first caller now, who joins us from Keta in the Volta region. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Just share with us your thoughts on this unfortunate incident.
Good morning. Good morning to you all, the crew.
Good morning.
I'm Wendell, calling from Keta in the Volta region.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, my take is about the bridal price that they pay. They thought the woman belongs to them. That's why they abuse the women. So it's about time parents reduce the bridal price. That's my take. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Did he say that the parents should reduce bridal price?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you very much for calling us from Keta. Please, the numbers are displayed on your screen. Call us, let us know.
Why must you say? What's the meaning of that?
That's why I don't want. That's why I don't want to talk about it. So he's trying to say that with bridal price, the man has bought the woman.
Yes. So she's that's not
equivalent to her life.
Something he's bought that he.
That's not equivalent to her life.
What? No, it's not. What?
That's why I didn't want to talk about it.
What are you saying? I'm sorry, but that is a very twisted, warped mindset. You can't say that. If you are saying that's because he's paid bride price, then he's bought a woman who he can abuse and beat this way. And if that is actually the way you think, then I'm very sorry that you think that way. That is not how you should think. All right? Yeah. And if you are doing something like this because you believe you've paid somebody's bride price, then the law will catch up with you, sir. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can also call us. The phone lines are active.
Okay, looks like we lost the next caller. But yes, just like we said, we actually have another caller on the line with us. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
I'm calling you from Upper West Region. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Share your thoughts with us. Good morning.
Let me say good morning to you people. And this morning, I have seen that it's not easy for you there. The way you people are feeling in TV3, that is the way you are also feeling in Upper West Region about this incident. But let me say good morning to the NPP Regional Chairman Abdulaziz White, and also Ansuma to the good people in the Upper West Region. You're doing G24 learners. And what I can say about this incident is that, first, the man is known like somebody who has a very good condition. This is what I can say. I supported what Roland was expecting or what Roland is asking. After beating this woman, can you go to him for sex again? This should have been the first question. But my sister, the biggest issue is that if a woman marries a man because of his money, this is the way they treat you. If a woman is being forced by your parents to marry this man.
Seriously.
This is how he's being treated.
Does that guy,
But
does that guy look like
no
he's a rich
evidence,
guy?
exactly. There's no evidence that this is a super rich person that somebody would.
Does the man's house look like somebody who is rich? Mr. Ansuma.
Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Hello? Yes, yes, it's just a measure that I'm just putting at.
But even if the man was quote unquote very,
I'm concerned about the way the men who have called the show today think
I think we
about
need
the matter.
I think
I'm very concerned. I mean, if this is representative,
we need more women to call on this subject matter. Please, if men call, bounce the. We need women.
I'm concerned about
bounce
the
calls.
mindset of
We
the
need
men
women.
who have called us this morning. If it is representative of how it is actually that men are thinking, then we have a big problem in this country. He is saying that if you marry a man because of his money, then this is what is expected.
Yeah.
I think I should stop talking now because I'm
we
getting
have another caller. Hopefully.
No, you are incensed. You are not getting incensed. You're already incensed.
Let's just speak.
We are all incensed.
Let's just pick the next caller. Good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us. We lost him, but
can women call? We need more women to be calling.
Yeah, but the mindset is just something else.
Yeah,
it's just something else because I'm not seeing sympathy. I'm not seeing the condemnation of it. It's almost like let's find a reason to justify why the woman would find herself in that position.
Well,
Suleimana is actually joining us on the phone as well. Good morning to you, Suleimana. Thank you very much for calling in and tell us where you're calling us from. Share your thoughts with us.
Good morning, sister.
Good morning.
I'm calling from Tapa.
From Tapa.
I saw the video and in fact, I found it very disturbing. And it's all about temper and how to manage it. Sometimes if somebody is very angry and he doesn't control his temper, that's the resultant effect. And I'm taking this opportunity to plead with everyone that in whichever way, any place that you find yourself, you meet certain people that were not brought up in the same way as you were brought up. So whatever that happens, you need to exercise control over your temper, or else you do what at the end of the day you will get, and you can't reverse it. So it's a wake-up call to every one of us that we should try as much as we can to control our temper when something of that thing happens. Because human institution, in fact, has a whole lot of challenges that if one doesn't manage it well, honestly speaking, it will result in something that, as we are experiencing this morning. So that's the letter that I think I can say.
Thank you so much.
And thank you very much for.
Yes, that's kind of agreeing with one of the points Roland made earlier. But there is something on my mind, which is that those men who feel this is justified, just imagine if this woman was your sister, because men are very protective of their sisters and their mothers. Just put yourself in that situation. If she were your sister or your mother, would you allow that to happen? I think we have a lady on the phone.
We have a lady joining us.
Yes. Good morning, Sandra. Thank you very much for joining us. Tell us where you're calling us from and share your
Good
thoughts with
morning.
us.
I'm calling from Tamale.
Yes, ma'am.
In fact, watching this video this morning, I was so hurt. I think that man, the best name to call him is that he's an animal. Because as a human being, you should not treat any other human being, no matter who he is, no matter the gender, whatever. You should not treat another human being in that manner. Even if it's an animal, you should not treat an animal this way. It is because laws don't work in our country. Otherwise, elsewhere in the Western land, you can't treat an animal this way.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, if he knows how much his mother suffered to give birth to him, he would not have treated a woman in that manner. So I think the law has to be activated and deal with that man mercilessly.
so that next time he will not mess with any other human being, be it a child, be it a colleague man or a woman. He should not treat such a person that way. Because women, look, if you are a woman and you ever enter the labor ward, you will know how much a woman suffers to give birth to another human being. For the sake of that, you should have it at the back of your mind that my mother, at least, my mother carried me in her womb for 9 months. And so for that matter, no matter the crime the woman has committed against me, I should not treat her that way. The other man was talking about the bride price. What is bride price? Can money buy life? Are we not here when people perish with billions and those money could not save them? How much is your bride price that you have to treat a woman like this? All in the name of you have suffered or you have paid much money. How much is money? If money could buy life, Honorable Musala and Co., Honorable Omani Buama and Co. wouldn't have perished in the forest. So this is not an excuse. That man should be dealt with. I am so pissed this morning. Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Sandra, for calling us from the northern part of the country and for sharing those thoughts with us. You know, I was at a mechanic shop, and one of the guys there, apparently his girlfriend had given birth. And do you know what his master asked him? Oh, Unipana. And he said, oh, it was a girl. So, Unipani, I can't want him.
Really?
And it was said like jokingly. So if it is not a boy, then it's not really a human being. And you hear that a lot in our communities. You hear that a lot. So it's a whole levels of, there are levels of mindset change that we need to be able to help people understand that you can't treat anybody anyhow, how you feel.
Well, we have a couple of comments. This one is coming from Hatwell Selassie Tamaklu. Good morning to you, Hatwell. Wishing all the best. Says to add to all of you have said, the disciplinary actions taken against him should be made publicly to serve as deterrent to all. And thanks to the police service for the swift response. All we need to do is to ensure that we empower our girls. And then I have this one from Kwekweron or Aaron Brasso, who says that I wasn't able to watch the video to the end. I felt so sad for the woman. How does the man feel after beating her and then going to her in the evening to have sex with her? This is very bad. The painful thing is that the man is even not rich in book. Sherry Giovanni says, Paparo, watching that video, I was highly terrified and incensed, filled with anger against the man. How can someone maltreat his so-called dear wife in such a manner? This man should not even be given bail. He doesn't deserve to live with humans. His place is in the jungle. All right.
Let's go back to the phone lines. We have a caller joining us from Tema. Hello.
Hello.
Morning, sir. What's your name?
I'm Ali Jetsa, speaking from Tesla.
All right. I didn't quite catch your name.
Yes. Since yesterday, I had a broken heart. I don't have a BP, but I'm afraid I'm a divorced one because I don't want to watch this video. And excuse me for my words, this man is a beast, he's an animal, he's an idiot, and if he's left with such a man, I, Aligeta, will never, never, never get married. I will remain single till I die. And he must be dealt with.
Thank you.
I'm done. I can't talk.
Oh,
after a few minutes, I can't even watch you. When I brought my head down or I close my eyes while listening to your commentary.
Thank you. Thank you for calling. And of course, if you've watched the video, it would upset you. It's very upsetting, especially for the women who are watching. It's a very upsetting video, and it just shows us a fraction of the maltreatment that many people are having to go through in their marriages, in their relationships. Domestic violence is real. If your partner is beating you, it's not because they love you. They would tell you that they're doing it because they love you or they're trying to correct you. But when you love someone, you don't beat them up. All right?
I have this one from lawyer Kakri Sama. Good morning to you. Wishing all the best for the day. Director of Communication also for the NDC as well, and says, terrible situation in the year 2025. Our criminal act, section 303, actually criminalizes cruelty to even animals. This man must be severely punished to serve as deterrent. The trial cry should be televised. Absolutely nothing justifies the conduct of the man in the video. And he adds, read my contribution. And it's even highlighted. So good morning to you as well. And this one is coming from Keche Kwame Dinkra, wishing you all the best for that. He says that, how can a man treat a woman who sleeps, who he sleeps with like this? And this man, hey, Charlie. And then Araba Sigua Money, good morning to you, says, this is barbaric and inhumane. Like, I don't understand. I wish I could do an audio for you because the lines are just not going through. At the ball, rough. And then this one is coming from Delight. Delight Mojaka says, the first two men that called should be ashamed of themselves. They and the man who was beating the woman are all the same. Disgusting people. This man should be stripped naked, beaten, and if possible, be castrated.
I agree with that.
Right.
Well, as we wait for your calls, there's a world-class university right here in Ghana, Rosebank International University, a strong South African university and a brand of the ADV Tech Group, Africa's largest private education provider with 146 schools across 5 African countries and over 100,000 learners, and partly owned by the World Bank through the IFC. Rosebank International University is fully accredited by the South African Qualifications Authority, the British Accreditation Council, GTEC in Ghana, City Guilds UK, and Capsicum Culinary Studio. At Rosebank International University, we offer a Doctor of Business Administration, MBA, Master of Science and Master of Philosophy in Digital Marketing, Bachelor of Supply Chain Management, targeting professionals in freight forwarding, customs, etc. We also offer hospitality and culinary art, available at diploma, undergraduate and postgraduate levels. Our ICT has BSc Information Technology in Business Systems and IT Computer Application Development, all carefully designed to equip you with the skills and qualifications needed for a successful global career. Our mission is simple: inspiring excellence. Admissions are now open for January 2026. Visit our modern campus at Airport Commercial or Pebia House, Accra, or apply online at www.riuc.edu.gh. Rosebank International University, building global citizens. And you're still here on the This Morning segment on New Day on TV3. Yes, the phone lines are still active. You can call in and share your thoughts with us. This unfortunate conversation that we're having this morning, a woman beaten, actually beaten by her husband. We've read a statement from the police saying that the man has been arrested. The 2 siblings who were also in support of this and assaulting the woman or the person who filmed the video that we just watched have also equally been arrested. And so call in and share your thoughts with us. And perhaps what do you think could be done to ensure that a lot more men are educated and people know that abuse is a no-no, irrespective of the offense. You can't subject any human being or even an animal to such treatment. So call in and share your thoughts with us.
All right. Alberto Noretti, the Graphic Communications Group Limited, Graphic, who says the man is a monster and fit to live among the good people of Ghana. And then also Dr. Yara Tenge, the Ghana Military Academy, writes, he needs to be shamed. How can he beat a woman believed to be his wife, let alone to that extent? And what was the woman still doing there? Women, know your value. Marriage is beautiful, but when you land yourself a beast, leave. It's not a do and die affair. That till death do us part is not being maltreated. The video of this man beating his wife is absurd. No. Exclamations 1, 2, 3, 4. It's heartbreaking. Another exclamation. Dr. Joliet, yeah, you're on Tengue. Good morning to you. And then, what do we have to do
right.
next?
We'll go back just to show you again some bits of the police report, the police statement there. They issued this yesterday. We saw the video, and then soon after the statement came out, like Roland was saying, good job to the Ghana Police Service for acting so swiftly, because it was very soon after we saw the video that the statement came out. So the police went in very quickly to arrest this man. The CID department of the Ghana Police Service has arrested a man captured in the viral Facebook video, physically assaulting a woman believed to be his wife at their residence in Ofanko, in the Ghana East Municipality. The suspect is identified as John Odate Lamte. He was arrested on Monday, that was yesterday, November 17th, at the family residence. Following his arrest, 2 of his siblings, Grace Kushi Lamte and Lois Odate Lamte, who attempted to attack the female tenant they suspected of recording and circulating the video, were also arrested, and the tenant was rescued to ensure his safety. Efforts are underway to locate and ensure the safety of the wife, who had fled the scene before the police arrived. And the Ghana Police Service remains committed to protecting victims of domestic violence and ensuring that perpetrators face the full rigor of the law. And I was very happy to see the statement, because we've heard people say that after a domestic violence situation, they go to the police, the man will come to the police station, and then amongst them, they start chatting.
Can you imagine?
And then they start chatting, and then nothing happens. Now, we've heard people say that. So it's good to see the police act this way, so that confidence is restored in the Ghana Police Service. That if you experience this at home, you can go to the police and they should act, and they have acted, so they will act. And so don't stay at home and feel that, like I said, there's always somewhere to go. There's always somebody to talk to. Go to the police station, or go to your parents. Go home to the people who love you. And for parents who send their daughters back, please don't do that. And so kudos to the Ghana Police Service for acting so swiftly. And let's not cover these things up. Before you know it, somebody has died. And then you would have nothing but regrets and nothing to do to save this person who has died. Now, we're joined on the phone lines.
Yes, we're joined on the phone line by lawyer Marian Roxin, I believe. She's a lawyer and a women's rights advocate as well. Good morning to you, ma'am. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hi, good morning. My name is Marian Darlington.
Marian Darlington, thank you so much for joining us. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank
you for having me. Good morning to all your viewers and listeners.
Let me first get your reaction to this very video that we've been talking about since we saw it.
So I've been traveling, and I just got to where I was a few hours ago, and then I had so many notifications. Check your DM, check your Facebook, check wherever. And then I saw the video. I won't even lie if I told you I was shocked, because these are things that happen on a daily basis. These are things that happen to women all over. You'll be amazed how many clients I've had that have had their spouses or their husbands strip them naked, drag them out of the house for whatever reason whilst they are being physically abused, so that other people can see. So you can see that the intention is not just to beat up the woman, but to cause her embarrassment, shame, and then disgrace her. The whole one thing I keep saying about abuse is not just, oh, something happened, he beat her up, it was a mistake. It is a consistent and an intentional position to exert force and power over the woman. And so anything at all that the abuser would do to make sure that he's exerting force, power, showing machoism, that's the whole purpose of abuse and violence. And so that's what you're seeing in the video. This is a woman that has been stripped of everything and anything, her clothes, her dignity. He's gone to the extent of taking 2 canes or sticks to beat her up with this. At this point, how can you call this woman your partner? This is not a partner. This is not your wife. This is somebody that you just want to domineer over in any and to the most extremist form of control. So that was my initial reaction was I was not surprised at all because this happens a lot. But I am happy that Ghanaians are seeing it for what it is, because it looks like sometimes when people like us are talking about physical abuse and abuse against women and violence against women, people do not appreciate the extent to which abusers will go to violate women's rights or to make sure that a woman goes through. Can you imagine? According to the person who was taking the video, from what I was hearing in the background, she says this happens to the woman every single day. Did you hear her, how she was begging?
Yes.
She was begging this man and saying that you will kill me. She kept saying, you will kill me. And this is not in jest. This is somebody who is telling you what her reality is, what she's experiencing. She keeps saying, you will kill me. When I just joined the call, I overheard you saying that victims should leave. Victims should leave. And I agree with you that victims should leave. But it is not easy to leave. Anybody that thinks that, oh, I'm being abused, my husband beats me, let me just get up and go, it's an easy decision for anybody to make. It is not true. It is not easy. It is not easy when you feel that this is all you know. This is what your nervous system is used to. She's probably been married to this man for years. This is her every single day life. Leaving that, your whole body is even fighting against you because your body doesn't know anything else but this. Aside that, let's not pretend that leaving is not financially constraining. There's a lot of financial stress that comes with leaving a marriage.
But would you decide that you're staying just because you have financial issues and choose that over your life?
So when I say leaving is not easy, it doesn't mean that the person has decided to stay. It means that from the moment when the survivor feels that I can't be here anymore, to the point where she actually gets up and go, it is not an immediate thing. It is a process. The first process starts in her mind. And don't forget that this is the same mind that has been going through an abuse. So she is not like you that can just see it and say, hey, get up and go. She has to fight herself to decide how she can even leave, where to go. And you'll be surprised that after all this, she may still not have anybody willing to say, come to me. I will be here for you. I will support you. And leaving does not stop the abuse. I keep saying this thing. People think that when you leave, the abuse stops. It doesn't stop the abuse. There's so much data on women who have left abusive marriages who have been killed after they had left. Because abusers don't want to be left. Like, how dare you leave them? How dare you leave them and tell the world that they are such bad people? They will chase you, they will hunt you down and kill you.
And I'm glad you're a lawyer and also women's rights advocate. It means that the system has not been built to protect and to ensure that people who are abused are in safety.
Yeah, that is the reality. The system, whatever it is, starting from even you and I, knowing that this could happen to any one of us at any point, accepting that we still have agency, no matter our marital status, you have agency. You can be your own person and decide for yourself. It is fine if you want to let some of it go, but you are always at the risk of being abused when you give somebody your power. That is there. It is clear, no matter who you're married to. And so also, then we have what you call the system. but the social protection that we have in this country. I've seen the letter from the ministry. I commend the swiftness by which the ministry sent that letter. I won't even lie. I applaud them for it. But sometimes we need to call things the way they are. Let's call for an arrest. I've seen that the ministry says
yes, the police has
investigate.
already the police has already arrested the man and the two siblings as well, who were actually on the verge of attacking the person who filmed it. But let me ask you this briefly: what is available for her in law after these arrests have been made?
You are talking about the survivor.
The victim, yes.
So, in law, she may prosecute. So there's a criminal side. There's a criminal side that the police will handle. There's also the civil side that she may explore. But most importantly, she needs to go through therapy. Somebody who has gone through this amount of trauma needs to go through therapy. If she has children, we should find out whether they have children. What happens to their children? They have to be taken away from their abusive home or their abusive environment to a place where they feel safe. Unfortunately, we don't have so many shelters, but I'm pretty sure that the ministry will have a place for this woman, and if she has children, to be able to keep them there. Our shelters are not permanent places for survivors of physical violence or any form of violence to stay. They're just a temporary place to house them until they can get back on their feet. And so I'm pretty sure if the ministry will be in a position to put this woman and her children, if she has any, in a safe space so that she and her children may have some place to, rest and relax. When you come out of an abusive relationship, where you feel like you have a place where you can now lay down your head, the relief alone, and it is not an absolution from what it's now that she has to process everything she's been going through. She may be re-traumatizing herself over and over again. And that is why she needs the constant psychological help. She needs that. But she definitely has remedy in law, both criminal and civil. And she also has the right to be protected. Her children as well, don't forget. Abuse to a mother is an abuse to the children. It is automatic. It is direct and then indirect in so many ways.
Indeed.
She and her children, if she has any, have the right in law to be protected.
We'll have to end it here. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, Lawyer Marian Darlington. Thank you. She's also a women's rights advocate. Thank you so much for sharing those thoughts with us. We had to end that call just for time, but thank you again for that. Now, hunger can strike any time, but Royal King Cracker is always on standby when you need something enjoyable to munch on. Royal King Cracker brings the crunch and the buttery taste. It fits right into your day, morning, noon, or night. Royal King Cracker, take chalk your hunger. Just grab one and enjoy. This advert is FDA approved. And you're still here on Newday on TV3. When we come back, we'll bring you some more, plus the big issue. Stay with us.
For that, if you haven't cashed out this morning, you want to do so, dial star 439 hash and select option 2 for TV3. Dial star 439 hash and select option 2 for TV3. We've got 10,000 Ghana cedis we're giving out this morning, and so 10 of you will get 1,000 cedis each. So dial now, star 439 hash, select option 2, and win big on the show this morning. Today on the show, we're going to be delving into the 2026 budget. Yesterday, we looked at allocation to education. Today, we're going to be looking at allocation to the health sector. And the minister did highlight some key areas that the budget would focus on going into the year 2026 in terms of infrastructure and health delivery in the country. But before we go into that, we're going to look at that viral video again with my guests in the studios. We've already been joined by Dr. Koba. Dr. Koba is a former principal lecturer of GIMPA, and also a private legal practitioner. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Great to have you, and thank you for joining us as always. Also in studio this morning is the MP for the Guan constituency, Honorable Fred Agbenyo. How are you, sir?
Mommy, I'm fine.
It's great to have you.
How are you?
I'm fine too, by the grace of God, thank you. I like the tie and pocket square going on.
You taught me to dress.
Me? I did not. But I absolutely love it.
I always admire Dr. Koba, the way he combines and puts everything together. So I'm learning from him.
We all do.
Thank God I have a big man to learn from.
We all do. But it's great to have you gentlemen in the studio. We'll also be joined via Zoom by Dr. Nefi Asamoah, former WHO Deputy Director. He'll be joining us on Zoom shortly. And we will also be joined in studio by Nanaya Sapong, the Deputy General Secretary of the New United Party. He'll also join us in studio shortly. But before we get into our conversation on the health sector and the budget allocations that was read out by the minister, I just want to take your comments on that viral video that we played earlier. If you missed it, this is the video. This is a video of a landlord, all right, allegedly beating up his wife. Let's listen with the sound so that we can appreciate the video fully.
Bro, I don't like what this.
Yeah, very disturbing if you ask me. Very, very disturbing video. And apparently, this woman who he was molesting is his wife. And from the narration we get from the lady who was recording, this is something he does every day. That's the word she used. It's something that he does every day. And we saw that somebody came to the gate. He went to the gate, locked it, came back, and then continued. I should tell you that we had a segment this morning and we invited comments from viewers. And there were viewers who called who had interesting things to say, including that they thought that it was important for parents to stop charging high bride price. And also it was important for women to stop marrying men because of their money in an attempt to justify what happened. Now, you are men, and so first, what are your general comments on this video?
Well, I have 3 daughters. You know, my son came late, and
In fact, for the good part of my life, I had resigned myself to having 3 daughters. I love them dearly, and they know that. There is no way you would wish this on any woman. It's barbaric. It's really, I don't know what in our customs and tradition supports this kind of behavior. I mean, if you've been married as long as some of us have been.
How long has that been?
I've been married for a long time.
Okay.
You can say that there are times when you upset. It goes both ways. Times when you say things and times when you hear things that really almost tips you off. But no one deserves this kind of treatment. You should be able to control yourself. I think one of the things that you should get into a marriage with is anger management. You have to be able to manage your anger. And it's not only about your spouse, children, people who you live with. This is just unpardonable. It's unforgivable. I don't see how anyone can defend this. I mean, I don't know what excuse you can use. I heard you talk about people say the high bride price and that's all nonsense. There is no way anyone should be. If anyone did this to my daughter, I don't know what. I'll probably spend the rest of my life dealing with him. It's just not, I can understand. Sometimes, we can say things to each other, and it's not only women who say things that will upset a man. Sometimes men say things that upset the woman. And we should be able to, people who are supposed to love each other and, are pledged in church a lot of times to be each other's keeper for the rest of your life. You should be able to tolerate each other. And if it's too much, walk away or something. Take a break. But no one should be subjected to this kind of treatment. And to our daughters, our sisters, no one needs to take this kind of treatment. You don't have to. Marriage is an important institution, but it's not important enough that you want to suffer for the rest of your life with someone who abuses you. It's unpardonable. And I hope that the law enforcement people are working on it. I think that one of the problems I have seen as a lawyer is that sometimes these cases get to the law enforcement agencies and they say, oh, it's a domestic matter, let's talk to your parents and let's deal with it. They are reluctant to press charges and do what the law requires them to do sometimes with these cases, So I hope that the right authorities have taken hold of the situation and that the woman should get the justice that she deserves. And I hope she's not going to return to that house.
Well, the Ghana Police Service have picked up the man. They issued a statement to say they have arrested him and have arrested 2 of his sisters who, attempted to attack the lady who they suspect might have taken the video. The woman in question, though, the wife has fled and her location is currently unknown. So they can't find her at the moment, but she ran away before the police arrived. Yeah. So her whereabouts are currently unknown. I'm going to come back to you in a moment to ask about the remedies for people who go to the police and they are told that they should, settle it domestically. But Honorable Fred, what's your initial reaction to this?
Thank you very much. Good morning to our viewers, especially the good people of Guam constituency. Doc, it's a pleasure meeting you all the time. I am sad. I don't think that this should happen to any woman under the sun. And the state of Ghana must take full responsibility for some of these things. Sometimes we all play the ostrich, and we don't call the spade a spade. We dance around the issues. And I really wish it's a subject we have time to discuss so that we can look at it from different perspectives.
We have time to discuss it.
And come to a conclusion. For me, these are things that affect us on a daily basis. These are things that we live with. And so occasionally we should devote time to talk about it. Now, marriage, relationships, sex, food, these are things that you virtually cannot do without. And yet, they are the things we give very little attention to and we discuss very little about. And so a lot of people don't even understand the whole institution of relationship, of marriage, of anything. And this is what their friends tell them, it's what they can imagine that they do. I think that as a society, we need to spend more time, right from our schools to our churches, everywhere, every social gathering, to discuss this subject comprehensively well. First of all, there are some doctrines in the Bible in particular, and our preachers will need to go back, have sober reflection, and how to go about these things. When you go and stand in the chapel every morning, Sunday morning, and you make the argument that God hates divorce, that what the Lord has put together, no man must put asunder. And so when people are living together and one is being killed, my pastor says God hates divorce. My pastor reminds me every morning that what God has put together, no one must put asunder. So let me remain in it and die. The first question is, which God has put these two people together? How did he become a husband and a wife? Because they were playing around behind the house, and the woman got pregnant, and so it ended up in marriage, and you think God instituted that, and so when it is not producing the right result, we must remain in it because the good book says so. Is that what it is? I don't know if you're getting the point I'm making. Yeah. For God to put something together, there are laid down procedures. There's a way it must come by for us to conclude that this thing was instituted by God. The fact that we, in a cosmetic manner, did our own arrangement, brought it to the house of God, and create the impression that we have done the house of God. And so even when things are not going on well, we still insist it must go. Now, go and check the statistics of how marriages are breaking apart. And as I say, I know this is a very controversial topic, and the kind of society we are, where sometimes it's difficult to even speak the truth, lest they come after you, they say all manner of things. But for how long are we going to be doing this to ourselves, really? Are we not going to confront the facts and speak the truth as they are and find a lasting solution? So the church has a huge responsibility. But the question is, that pastor who is supposed to be the one even talking, the church elder, how his marriage in his own house? The man comes to church maybe that morning, he and the wife has been fighting the whole night. And he is the person who is supposed to quickly clean his face and clean his eyes and now come and mediate in your case. Doesn't really have even the capacity to do it. Because do we teach marriage in our schools? Is it not educational curricula that a man will leave his parents, a woman will leave his parent from their own cultural backgrounds, their own orientations, come and put up under the same roof, sleeping in the same bed, with different perceptions about how life is? Are we taught how to come to accept each other? And young men, do we really have the appreciation that women in particular will never be as they come across at the beginning, that naturally they'll go through a lot of biological changes, and so it's not the girlfriend you met maybe in your school days that will be with you forever and ever. And so when that time comes, you must be able to adjust, accommodate, and appreciate. Do we have all this appreciation? Or it has become a trial and error institution
But even a man also doesn't remain the same way.
I agree.
You know, we all grow and we're forever changing.
I agree, but maybe. Well, let me just leave it at that point. I don't want to. But the point I'm making is that it is a lot more. And so it cannot be an issue of try and error. Oh, there's societal pressure. I am growing old. My parents think that I must get married. So whether I'm psychologically prepared, physically prepared, I really understand what the institution of marriage is all about, then I jump in because I must get married. Otherwise, how can any man, truly and really, that blood is flowing through his head, that is breathing through his nostril, can strip a woman he calls his wife, naked, outside, holding 2 canes? Would even a slave master treat his slave like that? You know, and when somebody attempts to come in, he goes there, locks the gate, hitting the woman in the face. Did you just say the sisters attacked somebody who allegedly reported the video?
Yes.
So they condone what their brother is doing? I open my comment by saying that it's a failure of the state. If you go to other jurisdictions, the social welfare system is working and working well. In a circumstances like this, the state would have taken the woman away, take the children away, provide all their cares. They can isolate the man now and deal with the man. But we have a situation where the social welfare departments and everything is dead. It's a cemetery. We don't allocate resources. We have trained several personnel. They go there, nothing is happening. And so, look at our economic standards in this country. Most women are depending on the men. Their livelihood, their entire survivor. Well, maybe when you live in Accra, you not see it.
Okay.
But when you go to the countryside, you appreciate the fact that it's a man that must do everything. It's a man that must put up money on the table. And so even the police moving out to go and arrest this man, the woman, hey, where will you get food to eat? How will my children feed tomorrow morning? You know, who will pay the school fees? If you go and put the man in jail for 3 years, how are we going to survive? So oftentimes, it's the women who come back and say, oh, it's okay, just let go. It is not because they are not hurt, but they are considering the economic circumstances. If you take this man away from me, how are we going to survive? And this is where you would expect the state to move in, to give this comfort that the state will pay the fees of these children, the state will accommodate this woman, the state will provide food and everything for the woman. And so once the woman knows that she has this comfort from the state, the law now can take its own course. The earlier comment you made that people said the bride price that we pay and blah, blah. You see, you can justify every wrongdoing. You can ascribe whatever you want to ascribe. Does it make sense to you? It is true. Our culture dynamics, this patriarchal system of things that we have, the man is the boss, is a borrow. You hear argument like in some cultures where you have to give cattle out for a human being. So in the mind of the man, I've exchanged my cow with the human being. The human being has become my property. I deploy and use her as and how I want to use her. You know, it's a major problem. I am saying that we cannot play with the institution of marriage, relationship. It is the foundation of humanity. And so we need to spend time and energy to do more education. When the child is leaving home, you should understand that in other jurisdictions where marriage can just be a man and a husband and a wife, and they're having their fun, they don't care, children is not a major issue. In our society, a marriage that has not produced children is a major issue. It's a major issue. But how are we psyching people, preparing people, educating people? A child that is born in a home where the father is always beating the mother, chances out that you grow thinking that it's a normal thing.
Yeah.
You know, my dad was always slapping my mommy. My dad was always lashing my mommy. My mommy never complained. You know, my mommy that will go down her knees and apologize. And so if I am married to you and I'm doing the same to you, why are you complaining when my mommy enjoy it? So this is how this child thinks. This is a girl who grows up every day seeing the mommy receiving slaps. And so as far as she's concerned, well, that is what it is. This is how our husbands are supposed to treat us. You know, and we haven't done much to educate. This thing comes up all of us will come around commentaries like we are doing now. It is passed. Nobody even follow up to see what really has happened, what have we done, how has the state moved in. And it is a major issue. Marriage is a relationship. Two persons who have agreed to come together and coexist. We all have our rights. We need to respect each other. And I tell people every day, you cannot say that, Mommy, I've come to marry to you. So whatever your vision, whatever your aspiration, whatever your plans are, because of marriage, everything must be halted. And we have seen things like that, where men will even give women ultimatum. That, okay, marry me, or stop your career, or do this and that. All manner of funny things. The woman must not go to school again because he's married. The man must go, the woman must remain in the house. And some men, they are so scared to even empower their wives.
Yeah.
Because when the woman becomes rich, in their mind, she will not respect me again. I can't control her again.
Right, you know.
So let me
the conversation, the conversation is a big one.
That's what I'm saying. I will really have time to look at this issue and discuss them well.
Yeah.
The role the church need to play, the role the state need to play, the society need to play, our upbringing, the educational sector. It's something very multifaceted. And until we approach it from that perspective, I'm afraid we'll just be doing what we are doing now. That may not necessarily yield any results.
Well, it's a conversation we'll continue to have. I'll read a couple of your messages coming in, and then we're going to turn our attention to the 2026 budget and its allocations for the health sector. A few messages coming in. This one says, this is from lawyer Jacob Okai. He says, I'm a strong advocate for women. Being a father of 3 girls, you dare not do this to any of my girls. I have always held that any man who beats a woman ceases to be a man forthwith. A woman beating a man is basically... Okay, I'm not going to read the rest of your message because we don't want women to beat men either. But yes, thank you for sending that in. Good morning, Na. All right, this one says, Na and Roland and Beatrice and the entire crew, thank you for your good work. In fact, I was really wondering if this was a human being at all. Honestly, he should be arrested immediately and given a double dose of what he did. Nobody should talk about human rights for him when he's being handled. After all, the woman also had rights, which he ignored. Keep up the amazing work, TV3 Newday, and that's from Simon Yang, reaching us from Wa in the Upper West region. Thank you so much for sending that message in. And this one says, great input by Marian Darlington, a lawyer who spoke to us earlier. Having been an advocate and a key player in getting domestic violence law, Waju to Dofsu, training police, judiciary, social welfare in responding to such things, it is sad that we are back to the rise of these incidents. We'll be in touch later to discuss this phenomenon. Before we move on to our next topic, Doc, what are the remedies available to victims who go to the police, who are told that this is a domestic situation, and then they don't take the matter up any further? What should victims do in situations like this?
If your local police department, the police station, refuses to do the right thing, find a phone number for DOFSU. You know, I don't know if there is a DOFSU officer in every station. I don't think so. But you should be able to, you know. And I always say that call a lawyer, even if you can't afford one. I mean, in my neighborhood, everybody knows I'm a lawyer. Everyone knows that you can always approach me and ask me a question. You know, I mean, call a lawyer. I believe every family should have a lawyer, you know.
But that's not the case. A lot of these women are in communities where they don't know lawyers. And lawyers are not available to them.
Call someone, call a pastor, call a lady you admire. Call someone. You know, don't sit on this, you know.
No, I'm not interjecting. You see, all of us policymakers, and at any time we are making policy and discussing these things, our focus is only on the cities and towns.
Yeah.
we forget about the people who live far down there in the villages. And the fact that not many of them are literate. You understand? So the name lawyer alone scares somebody away. The police station alone is scary. And so there are several people who are living with things in their rooms and dying minute by minute, and they don't have anybody to talk to. They pack their things and go to their homes. Their parents will sack them. Go, so even the family cannot protect the woman. It gets a point, hey, we hear this things on daily, but don't we?
We do.
And so, I'm sorry, Doc.
I agree with you. So I am of the belief that it's about time we really started talking about education. You know, our institutions, I'm going to get clubbed for this, but our education institutions have become just academic factories.
That's true. That's true.
We should return to those days when we talked about civics and life skills and really give children, students, a holistic appreciation of what life is about. I think we're not doing that, you know, and especially these days where all the things that we learn by rote, and the memorization is all becoming superfluous with AI and all that. We should look again at our educational system and teach these things. You should come out of our system with self-esteem, enough of it that you wouldn't allow anyone to do this to you. And I'm not blaming the lady. Because you said you follow in the church, and I don't know what training the pastor himself has or herself has. So it is a serious problem, and it is something that our government should look at. You know, we really need to look at preparing our children, preparing us for life.
How can we deal with this particular situation, this particular man, this particular situation, so that it deters other men who think that this is all right
I think there's enough evidence to put him before the law.
Mm-hmm. Someone has said that his trial should be televised, for example, or he should be given the maximum sentence if he's found guilty.
Well, even after what we've seen, the man is still entitled to have a fair trial.
That's the aspect of law that I don't like. Well, that's the aspect of law that, lawyer, I'm sorry.
No, but I wanted to find out, though, is televising
right?
a trial unfair? Is that the case?
That is a matter for the judicial service and perhaps the judge to decide. You know, it's not...
it's supposed to be private?
Well, it depends. You know, there are cases where we decide that in the interest of the public, you can televise this, you know. But you need to look at the rights of the accused
as well,
and to realize that no one is guilty until he or she is proven so, beyond reasonable doubt in a criminal case like this one. So I think the law should take its course. Kudos to the tenant who was brave enough to do this, even in the face of the abuse and insults from the man's sisters. But I think we need really to teach life skills. Our schools should be doing more than getting our children to get 3 A's and 6 A's and what? You know, we need to do more than that. You know, and getting
it's more than academics.
Trophies for maths and science quiz. These are all great, you know, but at the end of the day, we are preparing them for life.
All right. Thank you so much, Doc. And Fred, I saw that you were not agreeing, but yes, no matter the situation, everybody deserves a fair trial.
See,
So we just
I'll
accept
add to
it.
that one is that
We just accept
instead
it
of
and we
maybe
move on.
trying the president go and put him out in someone community, if you want to use them as a deterrent, community service. Everybody is passing the morning. There's the man who beat their wife to pop. Those days in the school, they'll put a placard around your neck. I will not come to school late again. I'll sweep my plot. You know, those things, they look
it's disgraceful,
trivial, but they impacted us so much. You don't ever want to be in that state. I'm going to put the person in one. Everybody will forget about the person in no time, and then everyone went deeper.
All right, so we're going to turn our attention now to our second topic. We're looking at the 2026 budget and allocations, the health sector. But we've been joined in the studio by our third guest, Nanayao Sapong, Deputy General Secretary of the United Party. Hello, Nanayao.
Hi, Na.
You're welcome to the show. Great to have you. Did I see you wearing sneakers?
Oh, nah.
All right, with the suit, yeah. Cool. We've got cool kids in the studio. We've got cool kids in the studio. But we're also joined in studio on Zoom, I beg your pardon, by our last guest formerly of the Ghana Health Service. We're joined on the phone lines, on Zoom, I beg your pardon, by Dr. Ebenezer Appiah Denchira. He was the former Director General of the Ghana Health Service, and he's going to be joining us particularly to have this conversation on allocations to the health sector. Now, let's just take a look quickly at some brief highlights of the allocations made to the health sector. The allocations include a very heavy allocation to the construction of health infrastructure, and also as we strive to attain universal health coverage. So first, 11.4 billion Ghana cedis has been allocated to the health sector. 11.4 billion, that's a total allocation. And it includes the construction of 3 regional hospitals in 2026, the completion of 10 of the Agenda 111 hospitals, which began in 2021 under the former MPP administration, the upgrade of 7 hospitals for maternal services, and this is one that interests me a lot because of the many issues of maternal-related deficits in some of our health hospitals and CHIPS compounds. Then the NDC financing policy under Mahama Cares. All right, so for the 3 regional hospitals, the allocation is 600 million Ghana cedis. And then 474 million Ghana cedis will go towards nursing trainee allowances. And this is something also that has received a lot of advocacy and cry from our brothers and sisters in the nursing fraternity. Then 100 million Ghana cedis will go towards the completion of the 10 hospitals under Agenda 111, which was mentioned earlier. So 10 of these hospitals will be completed. The allocation is 100 million Ghana cedis. Then 79 million Ghana cedis will go towards upgrading 7 hospitals for their maternal and child health departments, 79 million. And then 2.3 billion will be allocated towards Mahama Cares. All right. Then for the National Health Insurance Scheme, medicines, vaccines, and free primary health care, their allocation is 9 billion Ghana cedis. All right, so these are just some highlights for us to turn our attention to, some of the major highlights. And I already told you what stands out for me. The allocation for maternal health, for mother and child departments in some of our major hospitals, and the completion of the 10 hospitals under Agenda 111, which began a while ago, and which have at the moment not been completed. Now, let's first turn our attention to our guest who has joined us on Zoom to find out what your take is there. Thank you so much for joining us, Doc. Hello, Doc. If you could unmute your microphone, yes, thank you so much. Great to have you, Doc. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
All right. So what's your initial reaction to, especially the highlights that we have just shared on allocations for the health service?
Well, thank you very much, and good morning to the panelists and you. Personally, I am happy about the allocation because whatever allocation that comes to health, we have to ensure that it's actually going to focus on the SDG 3, that's improving the well-being of the human being. And looking at that, we look at the maternal mortality, that's maternal health, that has to be reduced, child health. We are looking at neonatal infant health. We are looking at making sure that we curb epidemics. And then, like HIV, malaria, TB, also promoting mental health, RTAs, and then universal health in general. So if you look at the allocations, you find that they're actually targeted. Regional hospitals, the health sector, our structure is a pyramidal, more like a pyramid. You have the regional district, first from the national, then regional, then the district, and then the community level. But you see that the regional hospitals, 3 are being constructed. And I believe these are going to the new regions. So it's going to improve access. And I hope we will be adding some other hostels and so forth, because anytime we have the regional hospital, it's a referral unit, and when people come, they need to have a place to rest. And I'm also happy about the Agenda 111 issue, because it's actually continuity, and facilities are going to be completed. Then the upgrading of the 7 hospitals for maternal and child health, that's the emphasis. I'm happy about that. The Mahama Care actually is something talking about non-communicable diseases, the kidneys, the cancers, and then also some infrastructure deficit, which is going to look at. I went down the details. It's going to complement the national health insurance at that level, and I think it's also good. Then. My only problem, or maybe is looking at the details, not enough on the public health area. First, let me look at, I'll come to the public health area, but let me look at the nursing allowance, for example.
Yeah.
I would prefer that one is also targeted. Nurses who are going to the deprived areas, Afram Plains, are going to, if you're going to place like Yala and so forth, that one, we can give you some allowance so that as soon as you complete, you move in there. I'll be happy about that. But the rest, I think it has to be a general fund, a revolving fund that people can actually access on loan basis. That would be fair. For the area on the maternal care or the Mahama care, or maybe health insurance, I would say that we have a priority area which we've actually been neglected. That's the preterm. A lot is being done for mothers, children, but then the new needs. Hospitals are built and they don't have neonatal intensive care units. And I believe that maybe the regional hospitals and then the other district hospitals, they will include them. I was just at a summit, neonatal summit, maybe it's just a week ago. And we realized that we need to either put in some money in there if you want to save the lives of our babies. Babies are either born at term or preterm. So if it's preterm, then there should be something to support them.
Doc, it's interesting you mentioned the point on neonatal ICUs, the NICUs. How many do we have in the country currently? Do you know?
I don't know, but it's very limited.
It's very limited.
I know that it is just in the major hospitals.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
So allocating funding towards mother and child doesn't particularly cover NICUs.
Not exactly. Now, normally, mother and child, we look at the services. This one is hospitals. You see, the hospital is different from, that's a mortar, bricks and mortar. But the service is different. The family planning, then but even I've seen a lot of hospitals without even children's ward. Not even talking about the newly children's ward. And that's why I believe that we need to make an input for that. And particularly because it's an indicator which is being measured. When we look at mother, child, infant, we are talking about newly. Now Ghana is high. We are nowhere near the SDG targets. And so we need to put in money to train the team. In fact, the summit came out that the team, the pediatrician, obstetrician, we have to have the psychologist, the midwife. They have to work as a team. So we're proposing even a quality improvement team, training them so that they work as a team. And we also find that the mothers who stay there, their children are less than 2.5 kilograms. I mean, that's the birth weight, that's kilogram. However, they are not supported. I should think that if a mother, you have somebody like that, your stay at the hospital should be catered for. So your meals catered for, and the medicines should also be catered for, maybe under insurance.
Okay.
So it's an area maybe we have to look at the insurance and the other push it there so it covers them. Otherwise, we will not achieve our targets. I'm happy because it looks as if the allocation is actually targeting to improve the indicator that we have. So if we actually, the joint implementation, we work closely with the allocation and then continue subsequently, then we'll go far.
Okay. All right, Doc, we'll come back to you, but let's come to studio now. I'll start with you, Nanaya Sapong. Are you satisfied with the allocations made for the health sector?
Thank you very much, Na, and good morning to my senior colleagues. I went through tried to go through the entire budget, and first of all, I would start by congratulating Arthur Forson for his brilliant presentation during the parliamentary session. I believe that the level of confidence within which he did the presentation was excellent, and I would want to see it reflect also in the delivery when it comes to the deliverables. The health sector, interestingly now, I have had issues with some of the projections and what has been stated, in as much as it's an excellent thing. I believe we could argue around the numbers and the areas or sectors within which those monies are going into. I'll start with a very controversial one. Number one, the allocation that is going into the nursing trainees. I have had a very strong stand against it.
Why?
I do not see why we should pay allowances to these nurses when they are in colleges. I think that the initial concept for the payment of nursing trainee allowances by President Kufuor was because at the time, people were not very much interested in going to the nursing schools. And there was a gap, all right, between the number of nurses we had in the system as against the patients in the hospitals. And so he needed to come out with some policy or a concept that would encourage people to take their children to nursing trainings.
That is why it began.
That is how it began.
I see. I didn't know this.
And once it is done, now it's everybody. I mean, almost all the young ones when they're in school want to be part of nursing because it's now attractive. I think that this whole nursing training allowance should be dealt with. We have other avenues where they can have monies to pay their school fees and to buy their books and to, take care of themselves. If I am going to do a nursing program in a university, and I am not entitled to take an allowance, and I have the opportunity to take a student loan whatsoever to be able to pay or assist my expenses, somebody, my colleague who is also at the nursing training, should also be allowed to go in for a loan or other avenues of financing their education. Now, you're looking at 474 million alone for this year going into allowances. These same students would come from school and they would come and complain that there are no facilities and equipment, tools for them to work with. Meanwhile, in a year, we are spending 474 million to pay allowances for free. Free money. When you are done and we are taking you to a village or a cottage to go and serve the same country that paid you to study, you would say, no, you wouldn't go. So if we can rechannel this 474 million. Now, look, we want to upgrade, I think, construct how many hospitals? I think
is it Agenda
6.
11110?
No, the one that they allocated 600 million. That is the first one, the construction of the regional hospitals.
Yes.
We are allocating 600 million to construct and operationalize three new regional hospitals.
Yes.
And then we are spending 474 million to pay allowances. Do you not agree with me that if we had channeled that same money to the other 3 regions, okay, that do not also have regional hospitals, we would be heading somewhere? Have we looked at the aspect of retooling our hospital facilities? Because there is a gap in the tooling system, or what some will call the equipment that they use. If you go to Kolebu, you go to Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, go to Tamale Teaching Hospital, they are still having issues with water. And this money is going into free packets, just like that. I think that we should be able to look at it. I think, going through the numbers, I am of the view that they are great, but then we could look at other finance of the health sector. All right, we should be
other
able
ways to finance the health sector.
We should be able to encourage the private sector to come in. BOT and other financing contractual agreements.
What does BOT mean?
Build, operate, and transfer. And so, look, we would have the private sector coming in, and then we would be able to create that environment where the banks would even give special rate dispensations to private individuals who would want to venture into investing in the health sector.
Okay.
Because, you see, building the health facility is not enough. How to operationalize the health facility is a problem. And so you would find most of these buildings empty, without equipment. And those that are not empty, they are in there, but the equipment are even limited. And you would find private individuals who operate very close to the hospitals, having all the equipment and the machines to be able to operationalize the same things that these hospitals could have done.
Okay.
Now, let's take Kolebu for an example.
Okay, quickly, and then we'll come to
Just wrap it up.
Fred.
If you go to Kolebu and Konfanochi Teaching Hospital, these hospitals have been there for years. Have we looked at taking a reconstruction of these hospitals to meet modern times? It's embarrassing when you walk into Kolebu. It's embarrassing. I think Konfanochi is trying to have a facelift. So if we are looking at the entire health sector reform, let us look at it in a holistic manner.
Okay.
Let us put in incentives to be able to attract the private sector. If you go to other jurisdictions, most of the so-called state-owned hospital facilities belong to individuals. The state only has some limited amount of shares in it because they would want to be able to put it in such a way that the ordinary citizen or the public can have access. But are we able to do that as a country? These are huge numbers. These are very nice numbers. I mean, looking at the Mahama Care, 2.3 billion. The kind of diseases that is going to take care of.
Yes.
All right. I mean, it's brilliant. We have many of our people who are not able to afford some of these medications.
And these diseases are on the rise.
And yeah, of course, that's where I've come to. These diseases are on the rise. I mean, if you take, I don't have the statistics, but today, you would have very young individuals, very young, very, very young, who have issues with kidney, who have issues, diabetes, who have issues with BP and other things. It's become very common, a very common disease in our system now. Of course, it's beautiful. But you see, if you look at it, it's at the top level, dropping it down to the district and to the villages. All right. Are we able to have that health architectural design that at every level the person does not even need to travel from where they are into the Qualibus and to the regional hospitals
to get help?
All
right. Let me come to Fred. I'll come back to you shortly, Nanael. I saw you shaking your head vehemently when he mentioned the reason the nursing training allowance began.
He's an MP.
Do you have a different point of view?
Well, first of all, let me add my voice in commending President Mahama and the Finance Minister for the budget that was presented. So far, almost everybody I've heard around commentary on the budget has commended the government, and people believe that a very good budget has been presented. The only caution admonition is that it must move beyond being a paper document into a full-fledged implementation document that Ghanaians can benefit from. The impact is what everybody is calling for. It's my prayer that all the allocations that have been made, we're able to release them on time and put it to good use so that Ghanaians can indeed benefit from it. Now, the history of the allowances. It's important to maybe want to even go back. If you go and check the Ghana's history very well, educational have allowances and have allowances dates back to the days of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. It was around 1969, when the UP people took over that way, that they canceled all the allowances. When the PNDC came in 1981, at the time Nigeria has found oil. A lot of professionals have deserted Ghana, teachers, nurses, everybody left for Nigeria. And so in order to get people to go to our schools and teacher training colleges and nursing training colleges, the PNDC administration introduced these allowances as an incentive for people to go in there. And so the allowance has been there up until 2021, 2020, President Kufuor came in. Now, before MPP left office in 2009, they have done a study. And there was even a document that where Ghana has gotten to, this continual paying of allowances was not, good for our economy, and that we should migrate all of them into student loan scheme, because all the colleges of education and colleges of health institutions are now become diploma awarding institutions. And so, if your colleagues, like rightly said, those of them who are doing nursing at Legon, at Tech, at Cape Coast, and they are doing degree or they are doing diploma, and they are taking student loan, why should those who in the training colleges who are doing the same degrees or diplomas be taking student allowance? That is not equity, that's not fairness. And that we should channel that resource rather into the expansion of educational infrastructure, so that when they finish school, we can easily employ them. Unfortunately, our very usual politics will not allow this thing to remain. It became political banter here and there, and now we have brought it back. What I would expect at this point, instead of Ministry of Health be the one paying these allowances, I wish that these allowances are taken to the district levels. Now, everybody wants to enter teacher training college or nursing college, go to a district, and then go and express an interest, sign an agreement with the district that I want to go to training college. The district will sponsor you to go to college. You have is it a bond?
A bond,
You sign a bond that when I finish college, for the next 5 years, I'll come and work in that district.
You mean take the allowance from the district or sponsor you?
The allowance should be taken to the district level.
And the entire sponsorship?
Yes, you go to the district. So that if you come to Guan district, maybe you are looking for nurses. We are looking for teachers. So money is there. If you go to Accra Metro, they say, the place is choked. Our money is finished. The available money now, maybe it's in the Guan district. So you come to Guan district. We'll sign an agreement with you. We'll sponsor you. When you finish your college of education or your nursing college, you come to Guam now and come and serve, at least for 5 years. So that this issue of people not accepting posting to rural areas, rural communities, will be taken care of. I don't know if you're getting the point I'm making. Will largely be taken care of. That's one of the things that I would expect us to do. Another issue about, before we left office in 2016, we introduced a program we call Doniado Healthcare, where we had these ambulances, well-equipped, that were supposed to go to rural communities and all that, and provide health care. We have health assistants, we have medical doctors in some cases that will go to our communities. It was a very, very laudable idea. I want to see that and come back. A few weeks ago, I organized health screening exercise in my constituency in collaboration with an NGO. We did free health screening, we did free medication, we subsidized the glass that were given, operations were free. And the patronage, we attended close to 1,500 people in 2 days. These are people who are living with conditions. In some cases, money to even pick a car from one point to the hospital, it's a problem. And when you go to most of our hospitals, for instance, these specialized health concerns, they will tell you the eye doctor, let me put it that way, comes once in a week. The dentist, the eye doctor, so that at least makes general understanding, comes once in a week. The teeth doctor comes once in a week. And so this old person in the village cannot go and come. So if you have the Niado one that they guarantee the health care to their communities and household, I think to do a lot of good. So I want the minister... is
it similar to the community health nursing?
This one is quite different. One is a van.
Okay.
The theater, everything is within...
It's a mobile hospital.
It's a mobile hospital, that's right. Those who are living behind the river bank and all those things. So it's something I think that Ministry of Health should pay particular attention.
So where are the vans now?
Unfortunately, we left office. Most of them were packed. The last time I saw, packed all over the place.
So they're still there. They're just not in use.
They are not in use. I think we can.
So then that's something that can be
used over 10 years or more.
I don't know their current state, but I think it was a very, very laudable idea that President Mahama introduced, that I want to plead with the Ministry of Health to look at it, if we can go back there to help. Monies that have been allocated to the health sector in the budget, quite huge sums of money. 11 point something billion Ghana cedis. National Health Insurance alone is taking about 9 billion of that money. National Health Insurance.
When the doc was speaking earlier, he said that on the nursing training allowance, I believe he said that perhaps the nurses who agreed to go and work in areas which are deprived should probably be given those incentives to go there. And similar conversations or suggestions have been even made for teachers as well. But we're not talking about education today, so we can remain on health. But I just want to come to talk.
Oh, yes. I finished.
Oh, you weren't done? Fred, I'm sorry. I didn't realize that you were not done.
I just began. I just have an introduction.
That was your introduction.
I just also introduced it.
That was a very long introduction.
I didn't speak to the budget. I just spoke about the new adult thing, and I helped to strengthen the issue about allowances.
Forgive me for misunderstanding.
The next thing I did
was... Forgive me for misunderstanding. Fred, go on.
What? General Secretary.
The General Secretary has not bribed anybody.
Yeah, so National Health Insurance is a good one. What we want to avoid around this time, people who render services to the health institutions, and for months and for years, monies have not been paid, and all those things. And several people have complained in time past. They go to hospital, and if you have National Health Insurance, they don't even attend to you on time. And even when they do, the medication that is given to you is not up to scratch. And some hospitals will immediately give you a prescription and say, we don't have medicine in stock. Go to the pharmacy and go and buy. If you do all those things, it defeats the purpose of the National Health Insurance. And I have confidence in the current managers of the National Health Insurance. They should deepen it. They should make it very fashionable so that Ghanaians can indeed benefit from National Health Insurance. Mahama Care, whichever way you look at it, communicable diseases are becoming a major headache. I don't know what we are doing with preventive health care. We need to pay attention to preventive health care. Like Nana, you rightly said, the age, when we're young, BP, diabetes and all these things were people for the aged, 60 years and above, 70 years and above. But today, people below even 20 years are living with some of these conditions. And these are conditions if God hasn't intervened, you are going to live with for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You know, because they don't have a permanent cure. You have to be on medication for the rest of your life.
To manage it.
You know, you have to be managing it until the day you exit. I'm happy the president, they are allocating money. Today, if you want to go and buy some BP medicines, and you have to take this medicine every day, every blessed day. And so at least this 2.3 billion has been allocated to take care of some of these diseases. I think it's not a bad one. One of the things that I saw in the budget that really excites me is about the pharmaceutical products. This is an age, Mother Ghana, or several Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's Ghana, to still be importing everything into this country, including paracetamol. For me, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. All these medication that we take, they are produced on these same herbs. Can we push more money into research? The Noguchis are there. And all these research institutions, can we give them more money? Can we help them to turn these, our herbs, into medicines that, you know, we can take at our hospitals? Let's go and check the weight bill. The money we spend in importing some of these things, these drugs into our country, when we can as well manufacture them here. You go to India, you go to these places, and we bring them. Why can't we manufacture? I'm happy to know that adequate provision has been made. It must go beyond just the provision. We must give them the necessary support that they need to go. 3 regional hospitals are coming up. My region, the T region, President Mahama himself promised that we need a trauma hospital on that long stretch. I pray it comes to pass.
Yes, lobbying.
Yes, the OT is very, very deprived, so we need it. Agenda 101.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, pump and pageantry, all the things we had, not even one is in use at the time.
We are moving on.
Left off it. No, we can't just
we
move
are moving
on. We are going to complete about 10 of them now.
Yes.
In 2020, 6 budgets.
Which is laudable.
Which is good. I pray eventually able to finish all. 3 district hospitals are coming up. That is good. Let's get healthcare close to the people. They say a healthy man.
3 regional hospitals.
3 regional hospitals.
Yes.
2 districts.
And 2 district hospitals. A healthy man is a wealthy man. If you go to my district conclusion,
all right.
my whole district.
I have to move on to Dr. Koba now. I have to move on to Dr. Koba now. Yes, we don't have a lot of time this morning. We don't have a lot of time this morning. I'm sorry. Dr. Koba, I'm going to ask you to forgive me in advance for the limited time I'm going to give you to comment on this. Because unfortunately, yes, I think we spent a lot of time speaking about that man who did that awful thing to his wife. Yes.
Now, I think that we should all be thankful for Dr. Forson. I think that this budget gives you the impression that this is a government which is in touch with what is on the ground. It just happens that last week, my son came home with a broken arm. You know, he had fallen at school and he didn't report it. He just came home. And so the closest hospital to my house is Achimota Hospital.
Okay.
I wanted to go to Legon. My wife says, they say Achimota has everything that Legon Hospital has. Because, so we went to Achimota Hospital. We went to emergency. Make a long story short, now there was a debate between the nurse and the doctor whether he should go and get x-ray. And this doctor, young man, probably looked like my grandchild. This young man asked for the child's name, mother mentions the name, he begins to write the wrong name. So the mother says, it's not the right name. You know what he told my wife in front of me? It doesn't matter. And then he says, this is a slip. Take this to a private x-ray place because it's 6 o'clock and our x-ray department is closed.
Boy.
So we should go to La Paz Community Hospital or whatever. So we left and I never went back. At the end of the day, by 9 o'clock or so, I paid about 1,000 cedis to get the POP on the boy's arm. Now, I can afford it, probably. What about my cousin in Commander? You know, so you see that these allocations to help is very important. It's one of the things that we should look at. In fact, I looked at the budget. Education is top. Education takes most of our tax money, but health, rightly so, is the next thing. I think I am happy about the regional hospitals, and because usually when there are issues, these are the referral places that people go to. But what I didn't see much was the what do you call those lower level?
CHIPS compound.
The CHIPS compound. I didn't see much on CHIPS compound.
The district assemblies are now building the chip compound.
Okay. Yeah. But I understand that these assemblies are now going to be well funded. Yes. They are going to give in their own allocation.
A lot of money.
So I think my only issue again is that I think that the hospitals, we should begin to look at equipment, because any of us who have traveled and seen what hospitals do outside of our country, it's about equipment. That's the name of the game.
I was talking about the operationalization of these hospitals.
So I'm happy about the allocations. The regional hospitals, that's great. The six new ones for the new regions, that's wonderful. But I think that first of all, we should spend time, as the expert was saying, to integrate the system so that from CHIPS compound all the way to the regional hospital, the national tertiary hospitals, that it's well integrated and the referral system is working seamlessly. Yeah. The last thing I want to say about this Mahama Care, I think it's so important. Yeah. You know, if you are a senior citizen like some of us, you really look at how much money you spend on medicine.
Monthly.
Monthly. And you say, well, if you have a pension and you are spending this money and it's painful, you can imagine. And the farmers and the traders, our cousins and nephews and the rest who are out there in the rural areas who don't have an income at all. So I think that it is a good effort by the government. It's something that we should look at, because at the end of the day, the Republic of Ghana, all it means to us is a place where we feel taken care of. And for many of our compatriots, if the state is not looking after us, we really don't feel like we are part of the system. Yeah. And so it's a good effort, and I hope that we'll carry it through. And then at the end of 2026, we can look at what they said they were going to do and what they actually did.
Yes. Yeah. And see if we are happy. Now, sorry, I have to go back to Doc, on who's still with us on Zoom. I appreciate your mention of the equipping of the hospitals and your mention of refurbishing some of our hospitals like Kolebu. If you've been to Kolebu lately, very specifically, that the neuro department, the building itself.
So it's between the refurbishing
or renovating
and then reconstruction of these facilities, because if you just want to refurbish,
that's simple. Okay. Anyway, let's come to Doc. Doc is still on Zoom with us. Doc, you have the final word now. From your experience as a former Director General of the Ghana Health Service, are these allocations that have been made? You've said you appreciate them all properly, and you've made some suggestions of what could have been included. How sustainable do you think all of this is for the health sector?
But that was actually only a preliminary comment because I have details here. In fact, I looked at the priority areas: NHIA, medicine, vaccine, free primary health care. The medicine, I believe we're talking about making sure every region, we have a regional medical store with a production unit there where you can get some galenicals and develop the syrups and the infusions. That one would be very good. And then when we have, I went to the Western North region, I realized that the new region, they had nothing and they were struggling. And then the vaccines, actually it should be vaccines and immunization. So the whole immunization, then move from mobilization to implementation is concluded. And the cold chain, there should be regional and district cold chain units. That's very important. It's strange that some health partners should be sponsoring, paying for vaccines to keep our children healthy. The moment we get a shortage, all our gains will be eroded because the measles will come up, epidemic, polio will come up, all those things will come. So I think we have to take that one to our own hands so that we have the immunization of 13 vaccines, including the HPV, which has been recently added. And then the NHIA and free primary health care. To me, they are together. Sometimes NHIA has been just a funding for sick. It's not sick. For a developing country like us, if it's only for sick, then it will be the actuaries will come out with a much higher premium. But for prevention as well. That is why for all the 7,000 electoral areas, which are the Ghana Health has made the chip zones co-terminals with the electoral areas of the district assembly, so that we could have about 7,000. And as the community is going to home, they have digitalized all the homes, so they know how many people are in each home. It should be home visit. It should be paid for. You go, you're taking care of 5,000 people. You go 100 homes every month, and you are paid something like 1,000 cedis for the home. Because when you go, you take care of the elderly, the BP, the parents, you check their sugar, you check the pregnant, you might advise them, go adolescent, the baby, those kind of things. 100 and maybe another 1,000 cities and then 100 for the volunteer.
Doc, kindly wrap up for me.
Yeah, then at a district level, to the supervision, the training, surveillance system should be part of the district because now they are running out of funds. So I think the national health insurance should be expanded to do that, and I've been told that the free primary health care does that. But otherwise, I think it's good. And my only omission is that we have to get a public health emergency fund.
Public health emergency fund. All right.
Emergency fund. That one is very important. Then maybe support them.
All right,
Get
Doc.
also a room for the private sector.
Unfortunately, we have to end our conversation here, Doc. But thank you so much for your input. The Public Health Emergency Fund, the need for the neonatal intensive care unit, I can't help but agree with you. There would have been very amazing inclusions in the statement that was read. And thank you so much, gentlemen, also. In studio, I wish I could come back to you, but I can't. Our time is totally spent.
There is a lack of confidence in our health services.
Nanaya,
and we need to be able to restore that.
You understand?
The sense of urgency in the delivery of their services, just as Dr. was talking about, and the retooling of it.
Yes, I think Dr. Koba also mentioned that.
Retooling of the hospitals is very, very important.
All right. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Honorable Fred Agbenyo, Nanaya Sapong, and Dr. Koba. It's always great hosting you on the show. Thank you for coming. And I'm sorry I could not read your messages.
Don't give us
I want to add tea to it. I want to add tea to it so I can serve you properly. And thank you for watching Big Issues and also for sending in your messages. You're watching TV3 Newday. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. All right. Now, before we go, since Fred was asking for biscuits, you can pack up your day with Milky Way rich smooth taste of peck shortcake. It's a pure delight. All right. So you can have some. Oh, okay. All right. All right. We'll be right back. All right. But before we go, if you're a salaried worker, you're looking for a university that will prepare your child for the future, then Academic City University is the best choice for you. At Academic City University, we don't just teach. We nurture creators, innovators, leaders who shape tomorrow's world. We offer undergraduate programs in engineering, computational science, Business and Communication Arts. And our BSc in Artificial Intelligence Robotics Engineering is the very first and the only one of its kind in Sub-Saharan Africa. With world-class facilities and industry-experienced faculty, our students don't just learn the latest technology, they create it. And if you're a working professional or a young graduate and you're looking to do something extra, we've got you covered too with our MSc programs in cybersecurity and data science analytics, as well as our professional certificate programs. So at Academic City University, our programs are practical, they're relevant, they're future focused, and they're just for you. So give us a call today on 026-269-3870 or visit act.edu.gh for more information. Admissions are now open. Academic City, make your mark. All right.
I think we're going to show Blaster match at 11.
All right. Now, if you want to look smart and fashionable, visit any Woodin boutique nationwide today. Woodin offers you amazing collections of authentic African fabrics and ready-to-wear outfits that come in beautiful designs and colors for men and for women. With Woodin, you can get creative and versatile with our designs. Be confident and show off how truly African you are in Woodin. Go to any Woodin boutique near you today and choose from a variety of trendy products to complement your unique style. You can also follow Woodin Fashion on Facebook and Instagram at Woodin Fashion and on TikTok at Woodin_fashion. Woodin Le Créateur. All right. So that's it. That's it for TV3 Newday today. And we're going to go live for the city at 60 currency launch now happening. All right. So stay tuned and enjoy.